After a long and much-needed summer break, we're excited to be back in the studio to bring you another installment of Eye of the Storm.
We'll be highlighting the top stories from St. John's and beyond. I'm Mariyam Ali.
And I'm Matthew Warner. This is Eye of the Storm.
This past August, St. John's made an announcement that the Staten Island campus will be closing its doors by spring of 2024 and will not be accepting any new freshmen for the fall 2023 semester. The announcement came just a few weeks before the fall semester was set to begin. St. John's president, Father Brian Shanley, has cited low enrollment combined with the effects of COVID-19 pandemic as reason for the closure. According to an article from The Tablet, enrollment at the campus has fallen 63% in the past 22 years and was expected to fall further. St. John's administration has already announced a systematic plan of recovery for current enrolled students, with an endowed scholarship fund to support Staten Island residents who enrolled at its main campus in Queens. As for now, the plan encompasses students who are continuing their degrees at the Queens campus.
The St. John's shuttle service is back and will continue until December 7th. The shuttle's hours of operation are Monday through Friday from 3:15 p.m. to 3 a.m. However, Saturday's hours of operation will be later in the afternoon, from 6:15 p.m. to 3 a.m. The shuttle is only available to St. John's students, faculty, and staff. In order to use the shuttle service, you must present your storm card before entering. The van will be dropping people off at all off-campus housing and at the F Train Street station. If you would like to be picked up from the LIRR Street station, you must call public safety. You can find the public safety number on the back of your storm card at 718-990-5252.
With a new semester upon us, it's good to branch out and try new things.
And what better way to branch out than to join a new club here at St. John's? Astrid Valdez met with the St. John's Table Tennis Club to talk about the club and to play a few rounds.
Hello, I am Astrid Valdez here in front of Taffner Fieldhouse, getting ready to meet up with St. John's Table Tennis Club. Let's check it out.
Please state your name, age, and year of graduation.
James Lopez, 21 years old, and a Bachelor's of Science in Finance.
So James, describe what table tennis does.
So the table tennis team here at St. John's just provides the opportunity for those both casual and competitive players to be able to participate in a racket sport that I think is probably underrepresented in the majority of collegiate sports.
Do you guys travel and play with other schools?
We do participate in what's called the NCTTA, the National Collegiate Table Tennis Association. It's a program, a governing body that partners with the team, like the U.S. Olympic table tennis team, and they allow us the opportunity to participate in competitive tournaments. Those take place around twice a year, and we do participate in the New York City Uptown Division. We often go against schools like Princeton, Columbia, NYU, the New Jersey Institute of Technology, as well as FIT, schools like that. Yeah.
How competitive does the club get?
The club right now is looking pretty competitive. It's been our most successful recruiting year. We've had around 60 people interested total, and some come from backgrounds in table tennis, some don't. While we do take people from beginner all the way up to advanced, I'd say this year it's looking pretty much like we'll have to have some tryouts for our team. Lots of great players this year.
What are your favorite parts about it?
I like personally that it can be both a very casual sport and it can also be very competitive depending on, I guess, what you're trying to do that day. So I mean, if you just came back from a really, complex tournament, one that's really hard, one that you've really had to expel lots of energy on, you can still go back and, be casual and goofy still a bit later at the same table. So it can be both a serious sport and also a very laid back, casual one as well.
Nice. Thank you so much for letting us meet you.
Oh, thank you guys.
And we are looking forward to hearing about it.
Oh, awesome, thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, that was fun. If you'd like to join the Table Tennis Club, follow them on Instagram as SJU Table Tennis. My name is Astrid Valdez, and back to you.
Hello and welcome to Hero or Menace. This is the place where we have debates on whether a superhero has had a positive or a negative impact on their world. I'm your host, Frank Larea, and today's debate is going to be about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Joining us today are Trail Williams and Brian Dolan. Brian is representing the hero side, while Trail is representing the menace side, and they're here to settle this debate on whether or not Spider-Man is a hero or a menace. Let's start with Brian.
Okay, so to start off, of course, there is the no-kill rule. Like, that's a big thing. That's a big thing with a lot of different superheroes, but in the case of Spider-Man, there's nothing that really holds him back with, like you get with, like, Batman with the Joker, where everybody says, oh, yeah, why doesn't he just kill the Joker?
Yeah.
With Spider-Man, it's a whole different story. There's no grand menace that like is getting in the way of that. And another big thing that's good with Spider-Man with the no-kill rule, all these people in law enforcement, you have it where they treat it more like it's a job, and in turn, more people get hurt, more people get killed. There are good people on the force, but then you have those people, like I said, that treat it like it's a job. Spider-Man treats it like it's an obligation. So he goes out of his way to make sure that he's doing the right thing. He always puts the poor first, as we know. He's always donating to different things when he's not fighting crime. Everything he does is purely for the purpose of doing the right thing.
Okay. Any thoughts about that, Trail?
I mean, for the opposing side, I feel like Spider-Man definitely has definitely a menacing side to him, because, for example, when he's going out being a hero or whatever, he definitely has oh, I'm gonna do this by myself. I'm gonna try to do everything on my own, and that ends up dragging a lot of people into it, whether it be civilians, whether it be the buildings that he destroys, or his family, his personal life, his grandma, his girlfriend. They always have some sort of mental issues with that, because they always want to worry about him dying or not coming home or all these things like that, because he always puts himself in danger.
I got you.
Yeah, and he also have for example, the Civil War with Tony Stark and Captain America, and he, for some reason, didn't really think about the side that he was choosing properly, because he just went to Tony Stark and was like, oh, I prefer Tony Stark over Captain America. No reasoning behind it, no thought process. He just stuck to that side. Lo and behold, Tony Stark was in the wrong.
So you think he's impulsive?
Definitely, for sure.
Okay, and what do you have to say about that, Brian?
I would say that's right to a point. When he first started out, Spider-Man definitely was reluctant on letting the people in his life get involved in it. But the big thing was he didn't want to see them get hurt. He wanted to make sure that his family wasn't getting hurt because of what he was doing. But there does come a point, though, in time where he does start to let other people in. Like, for example, Miles Morales. Miles Morales is a perfect example. As soon as Spider-Man finds out that he has powers, he almost doesn't hesitate in wanting to train him, right? Right before, again, spoiler if you haven't seen Spider-Verse, but right before he died, he said straight up, I'll train you. I know if you have these powers, you really might not have a choice but to use them, and I'll help you get through this. You can do this, man. It's all just, again, like you said, a leap of faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think he's not really impulsive if that's the case? You think he's more of a hero, basically?
I would say he's less impulsive than he's making him out to be, yeah.
Okay, and what you have to say about that, Trail?
I think it's a little bit, this is a little bit too fast to say that, because there's another example where because of his impulsive behavior, he's definitely accidentally killed people due to certain situations where things were heated. He wasn't really thinking properly. A lot of people got hurt because of him. Death, a lot of diseases due to all the building being torn down and things like that. All the chemicals, all being drawn up. So it's definitely a double-edged sword for sure.
So you think that he's the cause of a lot of the reasons why? You're basically saying that he's basically the reason why basically there's a lot of damage in the city.
A lot of money to be spent too to rebuild everything multiple times per year due to all the crazy fights. So it's it's never really an ending story.
Okay, I gotta ask. Speaking of Spider-Man and stuff, you know how he has a rogues gallery and everything. What do you think of his villains? Do you think that basically Spider-Man is has been involved in creating of this villains somehow, or do you think he's separated from that? What do you guys think? Let's start with Brian.
I would say he definitely, unlike for example, Batman, he definitely didn't have a hand in it. A lot of it was actually because of other Rogues Gallery villains. For example, Oscorp. Elektra wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Oscorp and them not treating him correctly and everything. And a big thing as well, going back to what he was saying about all these buildings getting blown up, 90% of the time it's because of the villains doing other things, and he only just gets in the middle of it as he tries to stop it, and in that process all these villains are doing all this stuff to him, and they were already doing it to begin with.
How about you, Tro?
I think it's just when it comes towards the villain thing, I feel like he definitely does have some part to play, mainly because of sometimes they start out wanting to be like Spider-Man or wanting to help him or want to be a part of his life, but it ends up just backfiring and he ends up creating worse villains.
Okay, looks like we're going to have to wrap that up. After much consideration from both sides, I'm going to have to declare Spider-Man as a menace. That's all the time we have today. I want to thank Trill and Brian one more time. We will transition from superheroes to Super Smash Brothers. Brayden has more with the Meta Club.
Hi, my name is Brayden Massel. I'm here at the Meta Game Night. Playing Dungeons & Dragons, card games, other board games. Most importantly, they got a Mario Kart tournament going on. So let's go see what the contestants have to say. What are your thoughts on Mario Kart?
Yeah, Mario Kart is an excellent game. Like, it never gets any bored regardless of what character and track you ever ride into and play with your friends. It's definitely like a fun to compete and spend time with your friends socially.
Mario Kart's fun. I feel like it adds this dynamic of casual and competitive where you can, same thing as Smash, as you can go in and just really do great and really like learn the ins and outs in the game, but it's very open for casual players as well with the CPUs and the items and the way you play. So I think it's great. I think it's a fun game. It's a great, like, it's always a launch title for a system. So it has to be a launch title for a reason. So it's definitely doing something right.
I'm here with Ryan, who just won Meta's Mario Kart tournament. Ryan, how do you feel?
I'm feeling great. Like I said, a lot of great competition, and it's just a lot of fun. Basically what I expected.
Out of all the maps you played, which one do you think was your favorite? Which one do you think you didn't like the most?
SNES Rainbow Road. I've been playing that one for a minute now, and it's a hard course, but I think I'm really good at it, so I have an advantage over most other competitors.
Wow, quite a night thanks to Meta and their wonderful e-board. They have more events coming up, so if anyone wants to get involved, feel free to follow them on their socials at sju.meta on Instagram. That's all from me, Brayden Maxwell. Now back to you guys at the studio.
It's so great to see our fellow students in such great programs. And what better way to help St. John's students than the federal grant program? St. John's will be continuing to participate for the 23rd consecutive year. This program will help current St. John's students, undergraduate students, in their pursuit of doctoral degrees. The U.S. Department of Education recently awarded the university up to $256,000 to support the doctoral pursuits of 26 students. These include traditionally underrepresented ed backgrounds such as low-income families, first-generation graduates, and other marginalized groups. The grant is awarded to St. John's under the federal fund Ronald E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program. The grant money fund help students' initial enrollment in graduate schools, service to assist in their continued enrollment research and scholarly activities, and more. During the second and third undergraduate years, students in the McNair Scholarship programs pre-take in workshops that enhance their understanding of the demands of doctoral level study. These workshops help the students develop oral and written skills, research in computer literacy, and more.
The MTA is beginning to eliminate the use of MetroCards. The recent introduction of Tap Pay is starting to make the MetroCard obsolete, causing for a new, contactless form of payment. Riders are now able to tap their credit card or use a digital card on their smartwatch or phone for public transportation. The Omni system allows for riders to use a more convenient and digital form of card payment. The MetroCard is active until the end of 2023, with the MTA planning to have a full changeover to the Omni system within the next couple of years.
Here at St. John's, we're lucky to have a student body that never fails to give us interesting takes in Campus Buzz.
Hello, I'm Madison Parler, and welcome to Campus Buzz. We're in Marillac today, and we're going to be asking students some hard-hitting questions. Let's get into it. Today, we're here with Madison. Okay, so which dorm building do you think has the most drama? How many dorms? Really? Why? You want to spill some tea?
I don't know. We don't really have the real inside scoop on a lot of things.
But I've been hearing things.
Roaches.
Yeah. Okay, Sebastian, we want to know which dorm building has the most drama? Why? 2 for 2 on this answer. No one wants to tell us. And so, what is your Halloween costume going to be for this year?
We have multiple.
Oh, we're definitely Momo. I love it. Yeah. What's your Halloween costume for this year?
My Halloween costume for this year is gonna be a boxer type of costume. Like that. I have a nice little bow, big bow, gloves. So it's gonna be this.
Okay. All right. What's your go-to chill spot on campus?
What's my go-to chill spot? I guess like no one's gonna back like those little umbrella thingies. I guess so.
Okay. That's all. We're here with
Christian.
We're here with Christian, and we want to know, what are you wearing for Halloween this year?
I don't celebrate Halloween. My parents are pastors, so they're totally against the whole idea.
So that's all, folks. That was Campus Buzz. I'm your host, Madison Parler, and back to Astrid and Sharon in the studio.
Good afternoon, I am Astrid Valdez, and welcome to Women in Power. In honor of the women who've come before us and of those that follow, we are highlighting women that are making a change. Today, we are honored to sit with Sharon Barnes-Waters, the Diversity Coordinator and host of City Views at 10's News. How are you doing today, Sharon?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I would like to start off and ask you about your career as a journalist. Like, did you always know you were going to be a journalist and achieve all these great things?
I didn't know about the achievement, but I knew from junior high school that this is what I wanted to do. And it started in a day that people come in and talk about different careers, and it was junior high school. And junior high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do really until this one person said, think about what you're good at and think about your hobbies. And maybe if you mix all of them together, you'll come up with a career. I loved world events. I loved writing. And my mother said I talked way too much. And I was like, so what kind of career could I do if I meshed all of them together? And I came up with journalism. Mind you, I knew no one in this field, but it intrigued me. And I said, let's see what I can do with this. And the love of journalism started there. And I started to read more, and I started to watch a lot of news shows and programs, which I already kind of did. I was a kid at night watching late news. Well, everybody was asleep. I was watching 11 o'clock news, and I was watching Nightline and watching 2020 and Dateline. I'm like, yeah, I was a strange kid, but I loved the news. And so I started my career path from an early age. And it's okay if people change. I just was the one that this is what I wanted to do, and I started my journey.
So you work at 10 Wins, but you started off as a sales assistant.
Yes, because I graduated from NYU, and that very last semester, I was applying for jobs. I loved 10 Wins. I would always listen to 10 Wins. And I also watched Nightline, as I said, and I got an internship at Nightline. So when I saw there was a job opening at 10 Wins, it was not in the newsroom. But I knew that there was only a door between the sales department and the newsroom. And so the job as a sales assistant, I took that, but I said to them, I went to school for journalism, NYU, I'm still paying back some bills. This is where I want to be. So after 8 hours in sales, I would go to the newsroom, make friends. I made friends with the news director. I would do things, they would show me things, I would write for them, and they got to know me. And so once an actual job opened up, and it wasn't full-time, it was a freelance news production assistant. They said, do you want to take that job? And I was like, yes. And so then I had to say, Mom and Dad, okay, now no insurance. It's freelance. It's 2 in the morning. It's 4. It's 12. It's whenever they want me, but it's not stable. But I was in the newsroom. I was in the environment that I wanted to be. So I took it. And then when a full-time position opened up, the editor said, Sharon. And then that was it. I've been their baby ever since.
It's really good to hear. And I'm glad that, as women of color, we are always presented by obstacles that we have that men don't have. Is there any point that you have overcome these obstacles?
Well, at first, there weren't a lot of us, women of color, in the newsroom. And I went through, before my current boss, I went through 2 news directors, and they were nice. They were nice. And the very first news director when I was in sales was a Black woman, and she was the one that introduced me to the New York Association of Black Journalists and the National Association of Black Journalists. And I was like, wow, there are beautiful women of color and men of color that are doing great things. But after a while, there was 2 news directors after that, and the current news director, I remember one day saying, I can't be it, the only, and he is so wonderful. He said, let's make a plan. And so I brought in the New York Association of Black Journalists and sat down with my boss, and we mapped out a 5-year plan of how we were going to diversify the newsroom. But I had support in doing that. And then at that point, he was running the internship, and I said, this is an opportunity. If I take it over, this is an opportunity for bringing more people of color in. And so he allowed me to do that too. And I started bringing in people of color, and some of them we hired, and then we started to hire other people that reflected the community. And I always say that if you're broadcasting, televising to a community, you should represent, and your newsrooms and your business should reflect those people who you serve. And we were able to do that. And so for some people it's hard, but I just have to have the right boss who encouraged what I was thinking and stood behind me and worked with me, and we got the job done in diversifying our newsroom more.
Well, thank you for being here and allowing us to interview you today. I really appreciate it. Honestly, we all do. So that will be all for today. To hear more of Sharon's work, listen to 1010 Wins by downloading the free Audacy app. Once again, I'm Astrid Valdez, and thank you for tuning into Women of Power.
Another thank you to Sharon Barnes-Waters for joining us here at WRED-TV to share her experiences in the journalism world.
St. John's University's Homecoming Week is next month, and kicking off Homecoming Week is the Red Storm Parade on the Queens campus. Lineup starts at 4:30 p.m., and if you or your group would like to participate, you can sign up by searching St. John's University Homecoming Week on stjohns.edu. Grab a group of friends or fellow club members and show your SJU pride by decorating a car or banner. The top 3 groups recognized by SGI will receive a prize. We cannot wait to see you there, and go Red Storm.
We're delighted to announce that one of our former members has just been hired at the TV Center. Former Vice President and Production Manager of the WRED-TV, and since graduating from St. John's in 2009, has worked at multiple production companies, such as Viacom and AMC. We welcome Dennis Vernaleo as our new tech coordinator at the TV Center. We here at WRED-TV would like to congratulate Dennis, and we're so happy to welcome Dennis back to St. John's.
And that's all we have for this edition of Eye of the Storm. Please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WRED-TV to stay up to date with all of our new content. I'm Mariyam Ali.
And I'm Matthew Warner. Thank you so much for tuning in.